The idea of a bridge connecting the contiguous United States to Alaska is a captivating one. Imagine driving from Seattle to Anchorage, traversing miles of open ocean. This ambition, while seemingly impossible, sparks the imagination and raises questions about engineering feasibility, economic viability, and political implications. Could such a bridge be built without crossing Canadian territory? The sheer scale of this endeavor is daunting. The shortest distance between the United States mainland and Alaska, excluding Canadian waters, is across the Aleutian Islands. This island chain stretches over 1,000 miles, presenting a formidable challenge for bridge construction. Beyond the distance, the harsh environment presents its own set of hurdles. The North Pacific is known for its ferocious storms, frigid temperatures, and seismic activity. Any structure would need to withstand these extreme conditions. Despite the immense challenges, the allure of a US-only bridge to Alaska persists, prompting us to delve deeper into its possibilities and implications. Building a bridge across the Aleutian Islands would be a feat of engineering unlike any other. The vast distances between islands, coupled with the treacherous waters of the North Pacific, pose significant obstacles. Existing bridge-building technology would be pushed to its absolute limits. One option could involve a series of suspension bridges, similar in design to the Golden Gate Bridge connecting the larger islands. These bridges would need to be incredibly long and strong to withstand the powerful winds and ocean currents. Another possibility might involve the construction of artificial islands or platforms in shallower areas. These platforms could serve as support structures for the bridge, reducing the length of individual spans. However, building stable platforms in earthquake-prone waters adds another layer of complexity. The harsh weather conditions further complicate matters. The Aleutian Islands experience frequent storms, high winds, and freezing temperatures. These conditions would make construction incredibly difficult and could potentially damage or destroy sections of the bridge during the building process. The economic implications of a US-only bridge to Alaska are as vast and complex as the engineering challenges. The cost of such a project would be astronomical, easily dwarfing any infrastructure project in human history. Funding this endeavor would require a massive commitment of resources from the federal government and potentially private investors. Proponents of the bridge argue that it would bring economic benefits to both Alaska and the contiguous United States. Improved transportation could boost trade, tourism, and resource development in Alaska, leading to job creation and economic growth. However, critics question whether these benefits would outweigh the enormous costs. They argue that the bridge's remote location and limited traffic volume might not justify the investment. Maintaining such a massive structure in a harsh environment would also require ongoing expenses. Furthermore, the environmental impact of such a project cannot be ignored. Construction would disrupt marine ecosystems and could potentially interfere with the migration patterns of whales and other marine life. The ecological risks would need to be carefully considered. Beyond the engineering and economic considerations, a US-only bridge to Alaska raises significant political and diplomatic questions. While the idea might seem appealing from a purely American perspective, it could potentially strain relations with Canada. Currently, the most direct route to Alaska from the contiguous United States passes through Canadian territory. Building a bridge that bypasses Canada entirely could be perceived as an unfriendly act, signaling a lack of trust and cooperation. Moreover, the bridge's construction could raise concerns about security and sovereignty. Canada might worry about increased US military presence in the region, or potential disruptions to its own territorial waters. Navigating these diplomatic complexities would require careful negotiation and a willingness to address Canadian concerns. The US would need to clearly articulate the project's goals and demonstrate its commitment to maintaining strong relations with its northern neighbor. Section 5. A future reshaped potential impacts of a US-Alaska bridge. The hypothetical construction of a US-only bridge to Alaska would undoubtedly reshape the region in profound ways. Its impact would extend far beyond the realm of transportation, influencing trade, geopolitics, and the environment. Economically, the bridge could potentially transform Alaska's relationship with the rest of the United States. Improved access could lead to increased trade, investment, and tourism, potentially boosting the state's economy and reducing its reliance on federal subsidies. However, this economic growth could come at a cost. Increased development might strain Alaska's infrastructure and natural resources, leading to environmental degradation and conflicts over land use. Geopolitically, the bridge could shift the balance of power in the Arctic region. Improved access to Alaska could enhance the US military presence in the Arctic, potentially leading to increased tensions with Russia and other Arctic nations. Section 6. The Alaskan Archipelago Island Hopping to the Last Frontier. The Aleutian Islands, a volcanic archipelago stretching westward from Alaska, offer a challenging yet potentially viable route for a US-only bridge. This chain of over 300 islands and islets presents a stepping-stone path across the North Pacific. Each island, with its unique topography and geological history, would require careful consideration in the bridge's design. Some islands, with their towering volcanic peaks and rugged coastlines, might necessitate lengthy spans or innovative engineering solutions. Tunnels, while challenging in their own right, could offer an alternative to bridging certain sections. Tunnels bored through the islands or submerged beneath narrow straits could mitigate the impact of harsh weather and treacherous seas. This island-hopping approach, while complex, offers a potential pathway for connecting the US mainland to Alaska without traversing Canadian territory. Section 7. The Economic Calculus, Costs, Benefits, and Comparisons. Assessing the economic feasibility of a US-Alaska bridge requires a comprehensive analysis of its potential costs and benefits. The project's price tag would be astronomical, likely exceeding the combined cost of the world's most expensive infrastructure projects. Proponents argue that the bridge's economic benefits would far outweigh its initial cost. They envision increased trade, tourism, and resource development, transforming Alaska's economy and fostering job creation. However, critics counter that the bridge's remote location and limited traffic volume might not generate sufficient revenue to justify the investment. Maintenance costs, particularly in such a harsh environment, would also be substantial. Comparing the project's cost to other major expenditures, such as national defense or social programs, highlights the trade-offs involved. Policymakers would need to weigh the bridge's potential economic benefits against its opportunity cost. Section 8. The Geopolitical Chessboard, Shifting Alliances and Strategies. The construction of a US-only bridge to Alaska would send ripples across the geopolitical landscape, potentially altering alliances and strategic calculations. The bridge's impact on US-Canada relations, while uncertain, could be significant. Canada, currently the primary land route to Alaska, might perceive the bridge as a sign of distrust or a move towards isolationism. The bridge's potential impact on Canadian sovereignty, particularly in the Arctic, could also raise concerns. Conversely, the bridge could strengthen ties between the US and Alaska, solidifying their economic and strategic partnership. This closer relationship could have implications for Arctic governance and resource management. Furthermore, the bridge's existence could alter the strategic balance in the Arctic, a region of growing geopolitical importance. Improved access to Alaska could enhance the US military presence, potentially prompting responses from other Arctic nations, including Russia and China. Section 9. A bridge too far? Conclusion. The concept of a US-only bridge to Alaska, while captivating, remains firmly in the realm of speculation. The engineering challenges, economic costs, and geopolitical implications are simply too vast to ignore. While the bridge could potentially transform Alaska's economy and redefine its relationship with the contiguous US, the feasibility of such an endeavor remains questionable. The financial resources required, coupled with the environmental risks and potential diplomatic complexities, make it unlikely that this ambitious vision will be realized anytime soon. Perhaps instead of a physical bridge, we should focus on building stronger metaphorical bridges, bridges of understanding, cooperation, and shared purpose. These metaphorical bridges, while less tangible, might ultimately prove more valuable in addressing the challenges and opportunities facing both Alaska and the wider world.